Like most church leaders, I regularly preach about the Great Commission, Jesus' command to take the gospel to the whole world. The challenging part, though, is always convincing people that he wasn't just talking to some of his followers, but he was talking to all of them. But practically, how many of us are in a position to sell our homes, quit our jobs, and move to Timbuktu or wherever? So if we can't move abroad, how can we get involved in mission? I think there's a number of different ways, and one of the most effective I know of is to go on a short-term mission. Yes, it's a few weeks of your life. It's going to cost you some money. It might mean that you have to go without a summer holiday because of it. But in terms of an investment, I honestly believe that it can change your life.
A few years ago, I was a team leader on a short-term mission trip with an organisation called Latin Link. We worked with communities in Peru. They were communities that were under-resourced and had very little and lived in shanty towns. And the impact on my life was that it made me realise and recognise I wanted to work with under-resourced communities and people who had very little in this country as well, which is actually what I do now, what I do for a living, and what I do in urban communities in London. I would definitely recommend anyone to be open to experiencing short-term mission. It's not only about what you can give, it's about what you receive in order to then give on to others.
A few years ago I went on a short-term mission trip to Africa, and through that God really taught me two things. Firstly was the urgency of the gospel, in that he placed me in a very poor part of Africa where I was working among people who had absolutely nothing, and it was much easier to explain to them their need of him. The other thing he taught me through it was a confidence. He gave me a confidence to share my faith with other people. On one occasion, the team leader gave me 10 seconds warning that I was about to share the gospel through an interpreter, which I'd never done before. And as a result of that, one of the young people we'd been working with became a Christian. And that just excited me so much and envisioned me so much for sharing the gospel with other people. As a result of that, I think my attitudes have been changed by God, in that I now look for what he wants me to do in any given situation that he places me in.
Pretty much everybody watching this video will have been impacted by mission in one way or another. You might not have thought about this, but there wouldn't be churches or even Christians where you live if other people hadn't got engaged in mission. So what about you? What will you do? We're asking you to pause for a moment and pray, and ask God to reveal to you how the best way for you to get involved in this mission would be. So pray believing, because there isn't any plan B. This is his plan to redeem our world. And how are you going to get involved in it?